Today's idea is called Discovered Attack. This one is for sneaky chess kids. It's a little bit harder to see coming than pins and skewers, although it does share one thing in common. You have to use a long-range piece to create a discovered attack. What does it mean? Well, it's when one of your pieces is blocked by one of its friends. If you move your friend out of the way, you will open a door for your first piece to attack. This bishop down here on f2 really wants to go after the black king, but his friend is in the way. That's his own piece. If that were a black piece on c5, we'd likely have a pin, but since it's a white piece, we can move it. Well, that pawn only has one square to move to. Obviously, we're attacking the rook, but black has a problem. Before he can save his rook, he has to get his king out of check. That bishop has a discovered attack on the black king. The black king moves, and the white pawn takes the rook. Ow. Notice the white bishop never had to move to create the attack. All we had to do was get the pawn out of the way. Now, why do we use the word discovered? Well, let's think about your life. What if you go digging in your backyard and you discover the gold? Wow. Well, first of all, give me some gold. Secondly, I would say the gold didn't move anywhere. You just opened up the earth to see it. You discovered that it was there. So the bishop doesn't actually have to move. We just have to open up a pathway for it to be able to attack. Let's move on to our next chess position. Here, the white rook is on the same line as the black king. Our bishop is in the way. By now, you have figured out it's probably going to be a bishop move. But unlike our last example, that bishop has quite a lot of possibilities. The bishop could move to any one of a number of squares, but when you've got a discovered attack, the ideal situation is that you move your front piece to attack another black piece. For instance, if you travel to the square d6, the bishop is aiming at nothing but a bunch of air. Black will calmly move his king out of check, and it will be white's turn. White has gained nothing. What you've figured out by now is that the bishop could also attack the black queen. Notice they're on the same color square. Let's say you decide to move your bishop all the way up to the square f8. Now at first that seems brilliant. We are making a discovered attack, or you might also call it a discovered check. And when the king moves, we can capture the queen. Oh. Right? Well, you're halfway right. Was there a magical way that black could have gotten out of check and saved his queen? Well, yes, remember, one way to get out of check is to capture. Black could have put his queen on a safe square while capturing the white rook. So, we need to be more careful on our first turn. The better square for the bishop is the square e3. Notice what this does. It still creates a discovered attack, but it also attacks the queen, and black cannot take the white rook because the bishop's in the way. Remember, even though the bishop has nobody protecting it, black cannot capture, the computer won't let me do it, because it is a discovered check on the black king. Let's close today by looking at the two most common discovered checks. This first one, white plays e4, black plays e5. You've probably all began a game in this exact same way. Now, if black decides to keep copying you, something bad's going to happen. Because when white takes and black takes, white can put his queen on e2, attacking the black knight. And if the knight runs away, you can see there's nothing separating our queen from the black king except our knight. You want to move this knight to attack one of black's really big pieces. A lot of kids think the move knight g6 is the best move. Well, it's a very smart move, but it's not number one. Remember, black can't take, he's in check. When black gets his king out of check by blocking, you can, in fact, take the rook. But what's better than winning the rook? Well, winning the queen is even better. Pause your videos and figure out, where should white move his knight to attack the black queen? If you chose the square f7, well, you were close. It does attack the black queen, and it does create a discovered check. The problem is, the black king can take back and save everything. The better square for white was the amazing knight to c6. This is why discovered attacks are so tricky. Normally, knight c6 would be a terrible move. because black's attacking your knight 1,000,000 times. But black can't take your knight because remember, he is in a discovered check. When black gets out of check by blocking, we have time to capture the queen, and black has lost his queen already on only the 6th move of the game. One more example to close the day. White's queen really wants to attack the black king, but his knight's in the way. Here, if you move your knight to a square like d6, that looks pretty good, because it's discovered check and you're attacking the rook. But again, back to our problem, black actually has a way to save everything. Black wins your queen and gets out of check. It might cost him a rook, but hey, he won your queen. The last idea we have to focus on is what we call double check. That's a special kind of discovered attack. When you move the front piece out of the way, and you also give check with the front piece. Look at this magical move. Black's king is in check with the knight and with the queen. When you're in regular check, you can do CPR, capture, protect, run away. When you're in double check, you have to run away. You can't do the capture or the protect. There's no way to capture two pieces on the same turn. That's against the rules. Well, if black's king moves this way, we have our standard queen and helper checkmate. And if black's king travels the other way, we have an amazing checkmate where we sacrifice our queen. This is really advanced stuff, kids. The rook has to take, and then the knight hops back to where he came from. It's what we call smothered mate. We're going to go over that idea a little bit more in a future video. So chess kids, if you master discovered attack and double check, you are really going to be a tricky opponent. Your opponent is never going to see it coming. By the way, don't go digging in your backyard for gold. Your parents might get a little bit mad at Fun Master Mike.